Dinner time, it's where little moments are cherished. With Blue Cash Preferred, get 6% cash back at U.S. supermarkets and bring everyone together. We did say everyone. Learn more at americanexpress.com/explore-bcp. Terms and cashback cap apply with Blue Cash Preferred.
Welcome to the KTPF Reload Show. In case you're wondering what the Reload Show is about, if you haven't heard previous shows, these are the interviews that were conducted by good friends of mine, Steve and Sue Taggart, in the days of the KTPF radio show. Their own radio show ran for just over 4 years, broadcasting every week for over 3 hours. I joined them in the last 18 months of the show's run, but eventually the guys felt they just about had enough. It was a monumental effort to keep broadcasting every week for 3 hours. It was a wonderful show, but unfortunately they're no longer involved, and the shows have just sort of sat in the archives, so I thought it would be nice to bring them back to life and bring you the interviews that the guys conducted over those 4 years. They include some of the most interesting people within the world of the paranormal and some not so well known but still, nevertheless still very interesting people. This is a very special show of the KTPF Reload. This is a show that we did with John Blackburn and the mysterious Anguish Man painting. We actually carried out a live investigation of the painting, actual live sounds if you like. What you're going to hear tonight is the recording of that event. Now, you'll also notice there are some very strange noises which we noticed actually in the studio and later on when we checked the recordings. I have deliberately amplified those sounds so hopefully you can hear them a bit clearer. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this, and it's a bit longer than usual because I've kept it as much as possible, so this is actually quite a long show, but hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Anyway, here we go. Here is the KTPF Reload Show with the Anguish Man haunted painting.
This program deals with themes of an adult nature and is intended for a mature audience. They've landed.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world. Talk radio. You hear us, we hear you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the KTPF Community Talk Show, live from Manchester. Okay, and my name is Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And we are here keeping the paranormal friendly. Right, just to let you know who's going to be on the show tonight. Our guests tonight, we have John Blackburn and Andy Mercer, who are live in the hub as we speak. We were talking about this picture, which is called the Anguish Man painting, which has been following John around on his Mysterious Paranormal Events for some time now. And he's joined us again to update us on the painting and how it's affecting his life. Good evening, John.
Good evening. How are you, Suzanne? You okay?
How are you? I'm fine, just about.
Nice to see you again.
Andy is here with us in the hub.
I did give a big wave. So
yes, they did give you a wave.
Yeah. We've got the haunted painting is what we're calling it, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah, the Anguish Man.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to John in a moment. How are you? Again?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's been a while, hasn't it? How long has it been since I last came in here?
Oh, good few months.
Yeah.
Good few months. Wouldn't you agree, dear? So, well, anyway, the reason why you're back is we've come back again to... In fact, it's been over a year, I've just remembered, because we've been in this house nearly a year, and the last time you bought this...
Nearly a year? You're joking?
I've been in this house since the 25th of November.
Where's that year gone?
Yeah. And we saw this young man at last place, didn't we?
You did indeed. You did.
Now, I hope you can see this lovely picture in the background there. This is a picture that's called the... I don't think that's working, Steve. This is a picture called the Hanging Man. It's the... what's it called now?
The Anguish Man.
Anguish Man.
I wonder what it looks like on there.
Oh dear, not very good. So, but anyway, and you've carried this. How long you had this picture with you?
It's been round about 3 years now.
3 years.
And it's kind of over that 3 years. It's kind of weird, really. But people are going to think I'm barking mad, but I've kind of made a friendship with it. To be honest.
Well, before we go into what's been happening of late, okay, before you update us about it, first of all, for those of you who don't know, John is from a group called Mysteria Paranormal. That's correct, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
And
He is Mysteria Paranormal.
well, yeah, he is Mysteria Paranormal. And how long have they been going?
5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. It goes fast, doesn't it?
It
When
does,
you're
doesn't
having
it?
fun. So, Dave Joyce said it doesn't look like a lucky picture. Right, so, and you've, during them 5 years, 3 of them you've been with this gentleman, have you?
Yeah, 3 of those years I have, but the last 12 months I would say I've kind of worked with it. I've been the most eventful, let's say. It's kind of, over that 3 years, I've built a relationship up
Right,
with it.
okay. So first of all, tell the audience how you got to, hold on, we have a problem.
Yep.
We've just gone blank. Oh, we're back. Don't do this live stream. Don't say it's the vein team. Be good. I need it working. Right. First of all, tell us how you got the painting, how you found out about it.
Right. Originally, going back 3 years ago, a gentleman called Sean Robinson sent me an email, and he said to this day that he sent it to the wrong person, really. And I don't think anyone really probably took Sean seriously at the time. And he thought that he sent it to the wrong person, and I replied after looking at the video, which he'd filmed in his house. Basically, going back to the video, what actually happened is there was 10 nights of Sean recording in the spare room.
Yeah.
And he just had a laptop camcorder in the spare room, and 5 times out of those 10 nights something happened.
Right. Now, I believe this is still on YouTube, isn't
It is still on YouTube.
Let me just see if I can find it for the...
Yeah.
Put the link on there for us, please. He's on the ball, isn't he, Andy? I have to have him up here every weekend. Right, so he contacted you and he showed you the video.
Yeah. And I looked at it and I thought, this is either a made-up one, a very good made-up one, or it's a real deal. And you know, you got to keep an open mind sometimes, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I thought to myself, what do I do about this? So I had a chat with Sean. I was really interested, and I decided to get together a development workshop.
Right.
And I invited the painting along and Sean, and it was at a place called Wasdale Hall in Cumbria.
Yeah.
And it was quite an interesting night. Quite a few. Things did happen, but not like they do now.
No. Right. Okay. So what happened on that night?
On that night, what we did was we put the painting inside the cellar, and then at that time the painting didn't have its own easel. Then, since it's had its own easel, it's kind of opened up a new ball game.
Right.
And what I did is I propped it up on a snooker table in the cellar. And this lady, one of the regulars who come to the events, she decided to do a lone vigil with the painting. She said she'd do it.
Yeah.
And she did it for 10 minutes.
Right.
And she did it for charity. And she raised about £200, I think.
Yeah.
Well done to her. And I had her down in the... Well, I put her down in the cellar. And she had a walkie-talkie. I was upstairs with all the guests.
Yeah.
And she was getting a bit panic at some point because she said she would hear steps, coming from what sounded like from behind the painting.
Yeah.
Because she was sat probably about 12 foot away from the painting, I would say, maybe 15 foot. And she said she could hear these footsteps walking towards her. This is in a pitch black room.
Yeah.
It stopped in front of her, turned right, and then just went.
Weird.
So she kind of panicked a bit.
Yeah.
But she did a 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then other people started to say, well, I'll do 11 minutes, and I'll do 12 minutes. And it kind of carried on. But we had a stipulation, if you do that, it's got to be for charity. And also, another thing that happened was 4 ladies on that night, they decided to do their own little vigil with it. And all 4 of them said they could hear scratching noises coming from inside the painting.
Really?
So that was that. But the strangest thing for me was I went to pick up Sean because he, I can't remember, I think his car didn't work at that time. And he put the painting in the back, driving along in the paint, with the painting in the back of the car, and driving down this country road and stuff. And when you feel that something's behind you, it was kind of like that feeling. And then we went into Wasdale Hall, and we took the painting to Wasdale Hall, and I just put it on the side, on this chair, And I was thinking to myself, the atmosphere's changing minute by minute. And I thought to myself, is it me? Is it me because I've been driving down the road in this car?
Yeah.
With this, painted in the boot. So I decided to have a chat with some of the guests, and I just said to some of the guests, how do you feel at the moment? And one of them said, it's changing in this room. The atmosphere's changing. 6 of them said that. So I asked 6 separate people.
Yeah.
And that's probably all that happened on that particular night.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting night nevertheless. But it's just gone weirder and weirder and weirder, to be honest.
Yeah. Now you've had something with this painting, haven't you, Andy? Mike. Yeah.
An event at the Cage in St. Osyth's must have been a year ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That was when we did the live, wasn't
You did
it?
indeed. Yeah.
We did a live. Just let everybody know, we did a live feed to the Cage, which is near Clacton-on-Sea.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it was you there, wasn't it? And basically, Andy was with you, and you were filming. And what we did was, it's on YouTube, people can see it. We kept flicking back to you, and you was doing experiments and stuff with this painting, and it wasn't a public event, was it?
No, it was a charity event for BLESMA, which was the British Luminous Ex-Servicemen's Association.
Yeah.
It was quite an interesting thing because it got quite a lot of publicity. Really, it went out in 12 newspapers, a couple of radio shows.
Yeah.
And it was quite a good turnout as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. We had nearly 100 people listening, didn't we?
Do you remember that freaky thing that happened as well? Because it kind of took me back a little bit because I was stood in front of the painting.
Yeah.
And I was in this room on my own. The painting was behind me. I had at that time a good friend of mine, Steve Griffiths, which I'll talk to you about later.
Yeah.
He had all the equipment there, all the cameras there, and every single camera went down.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Just had loads and loads of problems. Went through.
Kept losing the feed.
In the end, we had to use laptops.
Yes.
And two laptops went down. It was on my last laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was painting.
We were holding on by the skin of our teeth. Yeah.
And I was pointing the laptop at me in the spare room, and because of the light from the computer itself, you could see like a shadow of me stood in front of the painting. You remember that?
I remember a lot of people in the chat room was mentioning it as well. They could see things.
And the shadow bent down, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that took me back a little bit. I think did you say you experienced something, Andy, on that?
A number of things definitely occurring. Some of it was actually linked with the place rather than the painting, but certainly we did the experiment with hypnosis and regression to see how it came up with that. And the atmosphere in the room was very heavy indeed during that period, certainly. I remember we had some trouble getting you out of it after we carried out the experiment, and some information came through was coherent and sensible. It certainly suggested a possible time frame and period of when the artist was alive, and those feelings may have gone into the painting. As sort of put my therapist down for a second, it's a way of dealing with the inner trauma, is to create things like a painting like that. It's called art therapy, where you try to express those emotions through art. And it could be that the person who painted it did indeed have very negative experiences during World War II and was trying to express that in his art, how he felt with him, and that was a manifestation of that.
It was quite interesting at night because we went in regression. I remember coming out a bit crying my eyes out. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Streaming with tears. And one of the things that was weird about it was just I remember being in this tunnel, and in front of me there was a person, and behind me was lots of other people as well. And the tunnel led out to a parade ground, and I could see this young boy. He was about 18. He was kind of like in a fetal position, and although I couldn't see who was doing it, he was being kicked and punched and beat up. And I couldn't see who was doing it, but I knew I was next. Yeah. And everybody else in the queue was next. But to the right of me, I saw very clearly 2 German soldiers. Yeah. And they were like bigger than anybody else. Yeah. You know, like everybody else in the tunnel was a different they were like giants. Do you know what I mean? And whether that's some sort of representation
of their power could be the fact that if you are a long-term prisoner in a concentration camp, you're going to be in a pretty poor state, and they're going to be well fed and well looked after.
Yeah.
So they would seem physically larger anyway.
And that was strange for me really, because where does an image in your mind come from? You know, like that. It's just a bit odd, really, isn't it?
Well, I could spend the rest of the show describing how I think it works, but that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to do with the collective unconscious that I've talked about previously, that you're tapping into something there, but that picture, the physical object, creates a very strong link to that unconscious.
Yeah. Now, before we go any further, the Viscount's just said that the image makes him think about someone who has mental disorders and screaming from the inside, but no noise being heard from the outside. Just saying, he said.
Absolutely.
Dave Lloyd said it reminds him of the Scream picture, which...
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Well, certainly that's
Now, I agree with the Viscount, because that's what it looks to me as though it's somebody who's crying out for help, but nobody's listening, if you understand what I mean. Now, just take us back again to Sean. Now, he's asked you if you want to do this by mistake, and you've taken him up on the offer.
Well, but he didn't ask me to do anything, to be honest.
Right.
Well, actually, he just said, I've got more footage, and he was dead excited about it, and because of what he was writing, when you can read in between the lines, I thought, this guy's got something about him, really. I believe what he's saying. And I kind of put an offer to him, really, and I said, look, why don't we carry on with this, and let's find out more about the painting, because I do believe you, and especially after Wasdale Hall, I believed him.
Yeah.
And I kind of took it from there, really, and then what was born was the Anguish Man live experiment.
Yeah. And you've been doing this for 3 years now.
Well, yeah, I have been doing it for 3 years, but it's kind of built up in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
It's been
right.
But the way it works, anyway, the reason why it's been the last 12 months is because if I work with it twice a month, he is pretty active.
Right.
If I work with him just once a month, he still does quite a lot, but not as much as he does twice a month. So the more I work with him, the stronger the connection is. Right. I said to Sean a while ago, about a couple of months ago now, about 6 months ago now, I said, Sean, I'm getting a really strong connection with him now. And he said, John, he said, you will do. He says, when he was in the house, I was getting a strong connection with him too, and he said that's why I filmed it in the first place. Right.
Yeah. Now, what's the story background behind the picture?
The background behind the picture is the only thing we knew at that time when I first made friends with Sean and we got together on it, was that his grandmother, she always knew that Sean had a morbid fascination with the painting.
Yeah.
And when she died, she passed it down to him. But she hated it.
Yeah.
In life, she hated it. And it was left in the cellar. Hence some of the damage you can see now.
Yeah.
And basically, all we knew then was that the artist painted it in his own blood. And when he finished it, he committed suicide. This is, I suppose, the legend behind it, I suppose.
This is the legend.
Because she knew a friend, who knew the artist. And that's all we knew. But since then, I've learned a lot since then. A lot of things have come up since then.
The Viscount says it's not a picture he'd want to hang on his wall in a living room.
It is a bit odd.
Depends if mother-in-law's coming round.
Yeah. But I must admit, it is very enticing. You know, we had this, as I say, in the last house we were in, and on the show, and I can't stop looking at it. So this is the bit that gets me. It really draws you in, doesn't it?
You can feel it.
Yeah, it does. You know, you just want to look at it, and I don't know, it just draws you in. You know, what do you think, Steve?
I feel the pressure around it.
Yeah.
As if something's pushing out to you. I mean, the moment you put it up there, I can feel it on my arm.
They can't hear you
yes,
when
they
you
can.
look at me.
I can hear it.
He said his own blood, really. That is the story. And And also, I felt it tonight, but Andy, you've always said that round the mouth there's always some sort of
Absolutely.
breeze, isn't there?
It reminds me of if you go into your fridge, open your freezer door, and pass your hand across the freezer door. There's no breeze, but it feels a cold patch.
Yeah.
It's always around the bloody mouth. It's really strange.
It's interesting you should say that, Andy, because I've got something very interesting to mention to you.
Actually, Andy, I've remember when you was at the cage, you took a picture of it, and there was a strange thing on it over its left shoulder.
I've still got the picture on my phone, actually.
When we had it in the hub last time, I actually felt a heat there over on the left side.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
So, and over this time, as I said, what other feelings do you get from it, Andy?
Well, sorry, I spent quite a bit of time with the picture on my own at the cage, but I don't know, it's hard to explain really. It was a kind of, you knew you weren't in the room on your own. There was definitely a feeling of something was there with you, and the painting was sort of just to my left. I sat with it.
Yeah.
Probably spent a good half an hour on my own with it. I didn't feel particularly uncomfortable with it, but then that's me. It's just certainly aware of something very odd about it. It is, your eyes are drawn to it, certainly.
So,
John, can you tell us some of the things that you believe this painting is responsible for?
When you say responsible for, you mean during the Anguish Man live experiment?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, a couple of things that's happened up to now is the painting does actually move.
Right, okay.
And that started happening as soon as I gave him an easel. Because he was on the floor, stuff like that, and Sean didn't have an easel for it, and I thought, well, he needs an easel, really.
Yeah.
And I put an easel, and it was like, all of a sudden I give him legs.
Yeah. I knew he was going to say that.
It sounds mad, I know. Everyone probably out there in radio land thinks I'm a nutter.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. But I've got witnesses, and the first thing that started, Steve, to answer your question, was at Gillingham Castle. The very first thing that really started, he didn't have an easel then, and this is why I give him an easel, really, I think, was there's a room right at the top of Gillingham Castle.
Yeah.
And it's above Sir Humphrey's living quarters, so it's the warmest room in the castle. If you've ever been to Gillingham before, it's absolutely freezing. And this room is quite pleasantly warm. It's probably a little bit cooler than it is in this room now, which is quite warm in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we put the painting in the middle of, well, put it on a chair, if I remember rightly. And he's got a thing about the ladies, to be honest with you. Like we all know that ladies have got more energy than men. And I put a lady at the front of the painting and one at the back, and then we formed the usual energy building circle around the painting as well. There was 24 people there that night. And what actually happened was, what we didn't notice first of all was that outside the circle near the wall was this quite heavy wooden bench. It was like about 5 foot long, and it looked like it was made out of oak. It was quite heavy. So I started to ask questions, and there's one that kind of still baffles me now, really. And one of the things that Sean's wife said about the painting was that it was pure evil. She hated it.
Yeah.
Because when she was in bed, she felt something stroking her on the head. The son said he was pushed downstairs because he felt a hand push him downstairs. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Maybe he just slipped. But the interesting thing was that as soon as it went into his granddad's house, because Sean doesn't live in that house anymore, in his dad's house, sorry, he moved in with his mum and dad for a short while, and the same night when he moved into his mum and dad's house, his dad fell downstairs. Again, it could be a coincidence at the end of the day. And anyway, so, and there's other things that happened as well. They saw like a mist appear on the stairs and different things. So anyway, I started asking questions at Gillingham, and the bench lifted up.
Really?
It lifted up about, well, we couldn't see, it was pretty dark really, and there was nobody near it at all. Everyone was holding hands.
Yeah.
The only Gillingham Castle staff who were out, there was 3 of them, and they were nowhere near the bench, and it sounded like the way it banged down. It must have been at least a foot off the ground. It was a really loud bang. And it banged down once, because I said, am I talking to the entity attached to the painting now?
Yeah.
It was very most haunted at this point.
Yeah.
And it banged down for once. And I said, okay. I said, can you just show me a response twice? And it banged down twice. But no. And by this time, everyone's going, with the bangs. And then I said, I asked various questions. Was you the subject of the painting, or was you the artist? And at the time, I think, if I remember rightly, I think it said it was the artist of the painting. And then asked the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself to be pure evil? And then all of a sudden, kid you not, the temperature in the room went so cold, you could even see your breath. It was that cold.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this dark figure appeared in the middle of the circle, and it was at least 6'5". It was huge. And it kind of floated over to this young girl called Abby Horrocks. And Abby was getting really scared at this point. You can imagine. And I kind of then said, I thought, well, I need to change this a little bit. So I said, have you got a connection with me now? Because I've been working with you for a while. And then the bench lifted up and banged down for once, but yes. And then all of a sudden, everyone saw this figure going round the circle, came to the back of me, and I could feel that he was trying to enter inside my body. It was like a massive electric charge I could feel coming through my body. And I stopped it at that point. I thought, it's not coming in.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And then the thing about the Anguish Man live experiment, which worked on that night, was there was two things. I wanted to find out more about the painting itself, which I have done now. I found loads now.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, what if you brought an entity from outside? What if you brought the haunting from outside and brought it in to a haunted castle or wherever? How would the other spirits react?
Right.
It's an interesting question, isn't it?
It is.
And on that night, it really kicked off, because what actually happened is, when I blocked it, it went that cold. It was like really, really cold.
Yeah.
When I blocked it, when I wouldn't allow him to come in any further, the temperature started to come back into normal, and he went. He was gone then. Everyone could feel the strong, oppressive feeling that was there that night.
Yeah.
It just went. And then something else came in the room, and everybody could tell it was something differently.
Yeah.
There was 24 people there that night, and when we went down for a break later on, majority of them were shaking. They were that unnerved by it, and the temperature went back to normal, and it was as if something came into the room that was really angry that something was in the space.
Yeah.
And the bench was flipped upside down. And that's where it all started, really. And since then, it's got weirder and weirder.
Yeah. Dave, you've answered the Viscount's question. He was asking, in your opinion, do you believe the picture attracts activity from whatever location it's at? You've answered that question in that. Dave Lloyd wants to know, like the program The Haunted Collector, certain items can retain energy. If the painting was done using some blood, that would make it even stronger. What do you think?
Yeah, I reckon he's right as well. And do you know what? Like you do table tipping and stuff like that. This is different. I know what someone's going to say one day. Oh, it's just another thing of table tipping. It isn't. He's intelligent. He has conversations with you.
So we've got somebody on the chat room now. It looks like Michael H12. I'm not sure whether it is a female or male. They've seen the painting many times, and has seen it walk and face you, John. It's amazing. It's an amazing picture. So thank you for joining us on the chat room and giving us your input.
Yeah, when Raquel says walk, then it, I mean, you can say it. Is it that the actual easel moves, or is it the painting itself?
But the painting moves, well, both actually, but the painting in the end, when I ask him to move the easel, he tries to twist the painting himself.
Yeah.
And then I say, look, just use your legs, because I've given you the easel so you can use them as legs.
Yeah.
And then he starts to pull the painting, pull the whole thing around.
Wow.
Do you want me to say what happened last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that okay?
Well,
Before you do, I managed to put online the photograph I took when I was on my own, which I shall now put the link to, and it should hopefully work. Just double check. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it looks a bit misty. It was more to do with the fact it was a bit dusty in the room, but what you're looking at, you'll see in the picture, there's the picture on its easel and a chair on the bottom, right as you face it. The thing above the chair, which looks like a grey silvery semicircle with a darker inside, I've no idea what that was. That wasn't there. I've got about a dozen photographs on my phone I took, and they all look roughly the same as this, slightly misty because it was a bit dusty. But that semicircle thing, whatever it is a mystery to me.
Do you remember the shadow that bent down?
I do, at the Silence towards the end.
That was about the same. Yeah. Same place, wasn't it?
Yeah, it could well have been actually. Yeah, saying that. But that is a mystery to me. What the hell that thing is? I've got. Let's see if I can find another one. I'm going to upload another one that was taken roughly the same time to show the same kind of thing. That doesn't actually show that strange. I've got some photographs in the same position, but none of them show that strange semicircle apart from that particular one. I'm trying to upload another one, but I seem to have lost the page. The upload site.
Whilst he's looking for that, the Viscount wants to know: have you any video footage yourself of the image movie?
Yes. Last week. Well, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
First of all, a good friend of mine, Steve Griffiths at the time, because of when he helped us out at the cage, the cameras were all going down.
Yeah.
Okay. And Steve says, "Do you know, John?" I said, "I don't think he likes being filmed."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, you're probably right." And I didn't film it then because I thought, well, I want to try and get as much activity as I can from the painting. And anyway, until last week, like the connection now with the painting is so strong now.
Yeah.
And last week, well, about 3 weeks ago now, sorry, I went to a place called the Red Line in Pontefract.
Yeah.
And the reason why we went there, we had a small event going on there at the time, but we also had Steve Griffiths from Living with the Dead, and his team, which are known to you, which is Swaddling Coat Paranormal team. Yeah. They've been approached by a TV company to do a program about paranormal. And I think the name may be, they're not decided on the name yet because it's going to take a good few months to get it up and running. Yeah. And I'm hoping to get it on living TV. And I think it's going to be called Into the Light, and it's about all aspects of the paranormal. Steve asked me if I would work with painting on one of the shows, and that's why they came to the Red Line in Pontefract. And we had a locked off camcorder. And the team was there as well. Two of the team were the most skeptic people you can ever have. I mean, they're nice, don't get me wrong, but you've got to be a skeptic at the end of the day because you're on the fence and you can make right decisions either way. And anyway, the painting was, I was stood to the side of the painting, and I've kind of discovered over time that his name's David. So I said, "David, can you turn around and face me, please?"
Yeah.
And on that night, I knew, I know it sounds silly, I knew he had to make a special effort. And he did. And the painting turned around in front of everybody and faced me. Wow. Not only did he do that, he did a 360 twice.
God.
And not only did he do that, is the temperature on the outside of the room was 16. I brought a couple of laser thermometers that night.
Yeah.
We pointed one at the painting, and I said, "David, can you take the temperature down for me, please?" And the temperature went down to 5 Celsius. Gradually. And also, like you were saying about what you can feel a cold breeze coming from his mouth, Andy? What actually happened is I put Leanne, one of the team of the Swaddling Coat team, I said, Leanne, can you put your hand in front of his mouth, please? And she did, in front of his face, and she could feel a cold breeze coming from that area, the painting, really.
Yeah.
If you put your hand behind it, that's where a lot of the energy is. You can feel the static electricity behind it. You can feel it cooler behind there. And one thing that really freaked out Leanne was that this green light was coming from the painting itself. And I said to David, I said, can you take the green light to Leanne, please, the lady in front of you now? And he did. He took the green light, and it wasn't just Leanne who saw this.
No.
He took the green light, and it stopped a couple of inches before her chest. And at that time, one of the lads who was skeptic in the team, he pushed her away and said, don't let it go any closer to you, because he was getting a bit freaked out about it by this time. And Leanne was a bit concerned at that point. And all that has been caught on the camcorder. So it'll be part of the show on Living TV at some point when they get it finished.
Good. So, because he's not actually a cheerful chappie, is he?
He's actually, you know, I let people come and believe what they want to believe when they come.
But
to
looking
the
at the
Live
picture,
experiment.
it's. I agree with the Viscount. It's like somebody wanting to scream and they can't. It's like the silent scream. You know what I mean? As if he's crying out for help and nobody can hear him. But you know, and like you said, when it was painted, he killed himself afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it reminds me of somebody that's been set on fire, and that's what's left.
Yeah.
But having said that, you said that George Mrs. believed it was pure evil.
Yeah.
What do you believe?
Yeah, what do you believe?
What do I believe? Well, first of all, I let people believe what they want when they first come to the Anguish Man Live experiment. Because if I told them what I believe, automatically got something in their mind. You know. But I think he's misunderstood, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And do you want me to tell you now what I know? Or do you want me to leave it after a break? Or
leave
whatever?
it after a break. What we'll do is we'll come back after this show. Yeah, we're here at www.ktpf.co.uk, as we are every Sunday, me and Steve, talking about the paranormal, cryptozoology and all sorts of things. And we get some really good topics on, and really weird ones, I suppose is the best word to explain, because that's what we're all about. The paranormal can be a weird thing, and the stories behind it can be far out. And there's no exception for tonight that you may think that this is far out as well, but this is somebody's life we're also talking about. Somebody that has been working with painting that you see in the window at the moment, and basically after 3 years, the past 12 months has been more prominent between the painting and John Blackburn's what's the best word? I can't think, it's gone now. The dog put me off. But you know, when they're in each other's company, things happen. You know, they have got some sort of rapport together. We're going to hear a bit more about this story, and don't forget the legend, if you want to call it that, behind the story is that it was painted by a man who basically painted the picture with his own blood and was said to have killed himself afterwards. So he must have been really, really depressed, for want of a better word. But we're here with John Blackburn and Andy Mercer, because Andy Mercer has seen... you can say that again.
Hello!
Has seen this firsthand, but not the intensity of it that's been happening in the last few months since you've had the painting. Am I right, John?
That's right, yeah.
So, and you were going to tell us about something that's happened between you and the painting. This rapport you have with it, and what's been happening. We know about what's been happening on events and stuff like that, and painting's now started to walk, because I know it may sound silly if you've just joined us, because it's now got legs with the easel.
Yeah.
But and you think it's called David?
I think it's called.
You mean the painter?
David.
It's
Yes.
called David.
Well, no, I think. I'm not sure if it's a painter or whether it's the subject of the painting.
The subject
to be honest,
of the painting.
but whoever haunts the painting,
Yeah.
he responds to David all the time.
Just out of
Mind
curiosity.
you, might it be a self-portrait anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
But
Yeah.
one curiosity I might be thinking actually that just came into my head. How many stories do you actually hear of people being possessed, for want of a better word, and their mentality of it, and how it can make people maybe go to the extremes of killing themselves? Yeah. How do we know that this isn't the picture of his tormentor?
Oh.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It was just
I would
something
say
that,
yes.
Yeah, this
but
is
what
something
I
that,
would also say is it's his own subconscious.
Yeah. but this is something that just came into my head. I'm wondering whether this is the painter's tormentor, that the way he sees it, and the only way he could express this was to paint him, and because he was so deluded is not the right word, but so bogged down by this person, that he'd had enough and thought, right, I'm going to paint you to get you out of my system.
Yeah,
I'm going to use my blood to get you out of my system, and maybe seeing it at the end of it.
Well, that's certainly standard practice for art therapy.
Yeah, and maybe seeing it right at the end has made him think, oh my God, and it's made him even more crazier, and he's killed himself. Do you understand what I'm saying? It could be possible.
It's the stuff of horror films.
It is the stuff of horror films. You know what I mean?
Although actually the reverse would be required of art therapies, especially to feel better, not worse.
Precisely. But if this guy really, but then again, with art therapy, you're not constantly using your blood.
No, you wouldn't advocate that in any shape or form.
We're talking about a really intense horror film. This guy has been pestered for so many years. He's had enough. He doesn't know how to get away from it, how to stop it, and he's just thought, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you out of my system. I'm going to make myself bleed. I'm going to paint you with my blood, and put you on canvas. I'm going to get you out of my body one way or another.
Yeah.
And he's come along and he's painted it, and then once he's finished, the intensity of what he's seeing has just made him go, whoa, and he's killed himself.
It's not impossible, certainly.
You know what I mean? So it's just something that just came into my head then.
Yeah, the Viscount just put the realisation of what's going on inside his head.
Yes, this is it. All right, it took me long enough to say that. But you know what I'm saying? It
Absolutely,
could be possible.
But you know what, for everybody who's out there listening now, there's one important thing about this, and they asked the question, was one of the things that was important to me is that I wouldn't do this if he wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
And I asked one night, this was in front of people again, I said, can you lift up the right leg for a yes and the left leg for a no? Yeah. And they said, are you happy doing this?
Yeah.
And he said, yes. So that kind of why I pursued it more. And the things that I've found out, the things that I know, and there's a weird connection as well, is, like Andy, when you passed Life Progressed Me, I went through that tsunami over the parade ground.
Yeah.
I started to find out information from the painting. The painting responded by moving. And that spent time in concentration camp. Which is weird, isn't it, when you look at the past life regression.
Yes.
And I started to find this information relating back to detention camps and concentration camps. And Belson was one of the ones that was brought out, and he responded to that.
Yeah.
I said to Sean, I rang up Sean and I said, Sean, I'm getting information from the painting now, and I said that he's spent time in Belson. Sean went quiet.
Yeah.
And I said, what's up? He said, I need to check something out. And I said, well, right, okay. He said, well, when my grandma was alive, she had two friends, and they went off to war and came back, and they were both like walking skeletons, basically. And they both spent time in Belson. The only problem is that Sean's grandmother's dead now. And
Yeah.
2 people who were in Belson are dead now.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a problem. I looked at these websites on the internet, and the problem about Belson is when the English Army liberated Belson in April 1945, the Germans actually destroyed all the records. And the British soldiers were that busy keeping them alive that nobody took any records.
Oh.
They're trying to get some records together now.
Yeah.
But and you know, there's stories of British soldiers killed people with kindness as well, because they were giving them all the rations too soon, really, and that killed a few of them.
Right.
The strange thing was as well that's happened is about some very, very strange dreams.
Yes.
Really strange.
You know, I was going to say to you, where this led you now? The Viscount's asking, do you have any emotional connections with the picture, personal emotions? Basically, we've been talking about this, and the main reason why you're back on here, apart from saying what's happening on your events and everything, you've been affected by this, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
For one thing, I get a bit upset sometimes when I talk about the Belson side of it. I think it's the strong connection. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a sad story anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And where was it? I was at Woodchester Mansion.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Woodchester Mansion, you know Chris Howley.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I'll tell you something. Remind me to go back to Woodchester Mansion. Anyway.
Okay.
And we took it to Woodchester Mansion, and I was asking questions to the painter. He was really active that night. He was moving around, and I stood in front of the painter and I said, "Why don't you just get really close to me now and tell me what you really want to tell me?" And I even said, "Do you want me to help you track down your surviving relatives?"
Yeah.
If I can do. And it moved in response to yes.
Yeah.
So nothing happened.
No.
On that time.
Yeah.
It was 2 nights after that I had the most weirdest dream I've ever had in my life. It was absolutely weird. Basically, this is a dream what I had, and it was so real. The dream was so real that I woke up, grabbed my phone, put it on the notes, typed this down, and my wife thought it was a nut. She must have thought it was a nut. And I'll read it to you anyway.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, this is a dream, and I'm be interested to see what people think.
Yeah.
In the chat line now, just have a listen to this. Over a year, a certain hillside was a representation of a German's body. Everyone knew, as children, that certain parties of the hillside has been discovered which were the jackboots of the hillside. I was being hunted down, and I knew if I hid in the place of what was reputed as the hands of Hitler, I would have a place to hide, but my pursuers would know that too.
Yeah.
So I hid in the well-known jackboots and knew they would look at this location of what was known as Hitler's hands, and I booby-trapped the location of the hands to capture my pursuers. That isn't a normal dream, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Do you know what I mean? Well, in my opinion, what does everybody think in the chat line?
Right, try not to move your mic around.
What does everybody think in the chat line?
Yeah, what do you think about that in the chat room? Quite a vivid dream, that. What he's written down there. Jackboots and the remnants of a body in the shape of a heel. So, you know, that's just weird, but very interesting. That's what we've just got back.
There's been other dreams as well.
No, you've had other stuff that happened to you as well. Apart from the dreaming, there's been other stuff going on, isn't there?
In the house.
In the house.
I'm hoping Sue's not listening to this.
Okay.
my wife, Sue. Because
she's not in the chat room.
Good.
She's not signed in.
That's what I mean. She's not signed into the chat room.
Basically what happens is I want to put him on the easel in the house because I know that's what he needs.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Sue too scared to death of him.
Yeah.
She accepts him in his box. He's got his own flight case box now, which Stephen Griffiths very kindly made for him. And he's protected in there. And he's got he's got like a blanket he's had for ages that's around him.
Yeah.
And it's quite well looked after it, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
So anyway, when he's in that, it's pretty dormant, really.
Yeah. It's like it's got some sort of protection.
Yeah. However, things are starting to happen.
Right.
And it was only last week, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We heard a loud bang in the house.
Right.
And Sue said, "What's that?" We couldn't, at the time, we watched it telly. She said, "What's that?" And I thought, it didn't feel right to me. You know? And I said, "Well, it's probably nothing, Sue. It's probably just somebody making a noise outside."
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, right, okay." So anyway, we've got a 17-year-old cat, and she was asleep on a bed.
Yeah.
And her cat tray is in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And we can hear somebody scratching about in the cat tray. So Sue says, "Who's scratching about in the cat tray?" So she didn't twig, bless her, and I said, "Oh, I don't know, it must be something over, I have no idea."
Yeah.
And the cat was fast asleep. Now, 3 nights ago, I had a really bad sleep. I had a really, really strange dream again.
Yeah.
And I dreamt that the painting was in my dream.
Yeah.
But the painting, it wasn't the painting in my dream, it was the actual person who haunts the painting.
Yeah.
It was in my dream. And at that time, there was a really loud knock on the bedroom door. Now, whether I was dreaming still, but to me, it was like, it woke me up really sharpish, like, and I was like, you know, one of those nights we have a really bad sleep.
Yeah.
You could argue maybe it was in the dream, maybe the knock was in the dream, but it sounded damn real to me. It was on the wooden door, which was on the bedroom.
Yeah.
Because first I thought somebody was outside, but the outside door is a new PVC one.
Yeah.
And we've got no knocker on it.
No.
And it sounds completely different.
Yeah.
It sounded somebody knocking very hard. So that's what's happened recently. And it just gets weirder and weirder. But the problem I have is that I need to work with him more.
Yeah.
So I'm coming up with some ideas.
Right. Well, going back to your what's name, it says the Viking says it's very specific though. The dreams are more like memory recall.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. See, I do think, to be honest with you, going back to my explanation of what I think, how I think the painting became as it is, I do think that being part of the person in the painting, the blood, is what's giving it the.
Yeah, you could be right.
You know what I mean? That I do believe that it's the person is, even though that's probably his tormentor. If it's haunted, I'm not saying it isn't, but if it is haunted, then it's got to be by the person who painted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and like you say, the memory recalls and the stuff you're getting are all part and parcel to this David, who I'm assuming is the painter. Yeah, all part of his family history. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, you could be right there, but I just want to say something to Ghost Rider, who's not in the chat room because he's on somebody else's internet because he's just messed up about.
Right.
But I put the picture up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he said, he's looking at the picture, and it's changing. Can't explain it. But the features seem to be changing. And he's saying, has anybody else noticed it?
Yes.
You have.
I'll be honest with you, it is the relatively low quality of the bandwidth gives the impression that the picture looks as if it's actually changing, but I think it's just pixelation.
There you go.
To be honest with you, the face.
Well, actually, Andy.
Dun, dun, dun.
You want to say take me back to Chester Mansion?
Yeah.
I had this guy who came on that particular event, okay, at Woodchester Mansion, and he was he had a arm. His arm was in like sleep.
Yeah.
What have you done to him? He said, I'm a semi-professional boxer.
Yeah.
And he said, and he was really skeptic. And what I do is on the Anguish Man live experiment. Is I give everyone a raffle ticket.
Yeah.
I don't tell them what the prize is.
No.
Yeah, all adds to the suspense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I give everyone a raffle ticket and then draw the raffles tickets, and basically whoever's got a raffle ticket, there's around about 6 of them, and they all get a chance to spend 10 minutes with the Anguish Man in the cellar of Woodchester Mansion in one of the little rooms off the cellar.
Yeah.
and one of the rooms off the cellar, which I'll come back to in a minute.
Yeah.
We put it in this room, which is one opposite stairs actually as you go down the cellar. And funny enough, the one who was skeptic, the boxer with the broken arm, he won it.
Right.
I should have brought the email with me actually, but anyway, never mind. I should have sent the email he sent to us. And basically, what happened? He said to me when I took him down there on his own. He said, "What do we do?" I said, "Well, the best thing to do is just talk to him because he likes to be spoken to."
Yeah.
He said, "Right, okay." So there was like a little window in this room in the cellar, and the moonlight was coming in, and it was just all over the face.
Yeah.
Of the painting, and he was talking to it, and he said I could see the mouth moving. He said there was no noise, it was just a mouth moving, and he says to him, he thought to himself, it must be the darkness.
Yeah.
And he turned the torch on, and the mouth was still moving.
Really?
So he was absolutely gobsmacked. His wife sent me an email as well saying thank you for converting me. My husband, who was a complete skeptic,
Yeah.
and he even sent me an email himself. I can send them to you one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll blank off his email address.
Yeah. The Viscount said, "What history do you know about the image, if any?"
The only history that we knew was what we said, really.
Yeah, that where it's come from.
Where it's come from. The rest of it, I've kind of found out over time.
Yeah.
Someone's not asked the obvious yet. In regards to have you had the paint analysed whether it is blood or not?
Right. Okay.
Basically, Sean, the painting was filmed on a Japanese TV program. It's getting a bit of a name for itself now.
Yeah.
And they took a sample of it, but they never give Sean the sample for some reason, and I don't know whether Sean, requested it or what. I've no idea, but he never got the sample back, so we don't know still. Of course, it's Sean's painting at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If he wants him to chip bits off it and stuff, that's up to him at the end of the day, you know. But he is getting quite global interest. It was on American TV.
Yeah.
William Shatner from Star Trek, he did a program called Weird or What, and it was on that program. Japan got involved again 3 months ago.
Right.
I met a lady who flew over from Japan, and she filmed the painting overnight. She booked 2 rooms in a hotel. I shown her on the TV program how to do various experiments and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said to her, "What you really want to do?" I said, "You really want to spend a night in the room on your own?" And she wouldn't. She just wanted to film it, really.
Yeah.
And when I came back the next day, I said, "Did anything happen? Did we put a pendulum underneath the painting, see if that moved? We put pieces of paper under the easel and put like pencil marks around it, K2 meter, different things."
Yeah.
And anyway, none of those happened. But what she was rather disturbed by was like in the middle of the night she heard a loud scream. And this is in a little village of this hotel room's in a little village.
Yeah.
And it was like about 2:30 in the morning. It's a dead quiet village, nothing goes on there really. And she said it could have been outside. And I said, "Well, did it sound like it was outside?" And she said, "No, it sounded like it was from next door." But that went on Japanese TV on the 7th of May. Russians are showing an interest. They want to film it. And now, at long last, Steve Griffiths and the Swaddling Club team are now filming for England at long last.
Well, the Viscount's just said he's got a large screen mode, and the image around the mouth looks like it's changing, although it could be the broadband connection.
And also, John's got back to me. He said he's looking at the one on Facebook. The picture actually that I put up on Facebook, and he's seeing it there.
Oh right, okay. So Andy, what's your take on this Anguish Man? The voice of reason.
The voice of reason. The voice. I like that.
Every week we get this man come on saying that most of my guests that come on are talking a load of old, I quote, twaddle.
Oh, as if I'd say that. As if I'd say that. Actually, no, I'll take you a bit further down the even darker path. In sort of the realms of the occult, there's the idea of the thought form creation, where you put your energies and thoughts into a particular object and try to energize it to become something on its own.
Yeah.
So the idea could be that the guy got so wrapped up in his thoughts and things whilst painting it, the painting itself has a life of its own.
Yeah.
It's not possessed by anybody. It is the painting itself that's actually alive. It's actually creating these effects. It's got its own energy. It exists in a sense independently of the painter. It's
really
a thought form energy. It's something you sometimes find as an explanation for some of the darker entities at locations that's been deliberately generated to cause nastiness and mayhem. That maybe that's what the painting is.
Do you know what? There's something interesting that you're saying about that as well, because I don't think you can see it on the screen.
in the bike. Otherwise, I get found out.
Right. You see on the if you look at the painting now, if you look at your finger, you can see the finger on the top, on your top left.
My top left.
Yeah. There's a skull underneath that. Can you see that?
You can just make it out from here as well. You can see eye sockets.
Yeah.
The ridges.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And Steve Griffiths, originally, this is when he first got involved. He tested the temperature of all the painting. This was at Wasdale. Oh, yeah. I know it wasn't. No, tell lies. It was somewhere else. But anyway, and it was colder there than anywhere else.
Really?
And it'd been in the same room for quite some time, so it would have took on the ambient temperature of that room. So what he decided to do, he thought to himself, well, maybe there's a foreign heat source from that side of the painting. So he turned it round to eliminate that. And guess what?
What?
The temperature stayed on the same side.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is on that shoulder. I don't know how Steve did it. I'm not big on the techie side of it. On that side of the shoulder, there's a devil. Okay. On that side of the shoulder, you can just about see it there. There's an angel. And these are things that's painted under
I've just put up the link, actually, John, from your site that shows the area of the skull isolated.
Yeah.
Highlighted.
Ghost Rider has said, has the picture itself ever moved or fallen face down?
It has on one of the videos that Sean took. Yeah.
Right, okay. And Ace Paradox, welcome to the show, said, last night I was using new live EVP equipment, which all present, 7 people believed we heard voices. It would be interesting to use this equipment with the painting.
Yeah.
The male voice was from technology.
Right, okay, yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah. He makes his own equipment.
Yeah, actually, what's his name again, sorry?
His name's Ace Paradox.
Ace
Paradox.
Paul.
Paul Obi-Wan.
Paul Obi-Wan.
If you want to find him on Facebook.
Yeah, what it is, Paul, it is on the, you probably see on the image, on the video that Andy put up, if it's the same one, there's a lot of EVP on that. So, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so I think you'd like to use his equipment on it, will you? Mm-hmm. So he says hi to you.
Hi,
so,
Paul.
but as I say, it's an image, and you need to ask Sean whether that's possible for my son.
Yes, I will do. Oh, going on. No, I need to say something to some guys out there.
Okay.
There's 2 paintings on the internet that are copies.
Right.
One's been sold on eBay for 155 quid.
Right.
And it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that, and it's got fangs.
Right.
And then there's another one, isn't there? You just
I've just found it. Someone's a deviant art site that's in Spanish. It's clearly seen the original picture. It's kind of based around that, but it's much more soft focus, shall we say?
Yeah, it's a lot more basic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite nice. But she said it. I've been trying to translate the forum post because it's actually in Spanish, and she's something about some inspiration somewhere. So she's seen the picture somewhere. The inspiration scare.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick short break, so then we're going to come back and talk about what you're thinking about doing in the future.
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
So we'll see you after these words.
Hello, Harry Price here. Good evening. If there's nothing myself and everybody else enjoy here on the other side more is the sit back and relax and listen to Parasearch Radio with its paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Make sure to find out more about them on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web, whatever they are, to keep up to date with all their broadcasts throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do over here. Hello? Is anybody there?
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Just to let you know, we're here with Steve, who's over there.
Hiya.
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 We've also got Andy in the corner.
Hello.
Andy Mercer, he's live here in the hub for a change. And our guest tonight is John Blackburn, who's from Mysteria Paranormal. We've been talking about this picture that's sat in my windows on my windowsill at the moment.
Right.
So
I've not bought him flowers yet.
Yeah. He's addicted to the Anguish Man.
Addicted to it, and it's becoming part of your life, isn't it?
It's become a big part of my life, yeah. And the problem we've got is, to be honest with you,
You can't stop.
I can't stop.
No.
Because it's getting better and better and better.
Okay.
It is, and it's, I think it's one of these things that needs to be, he needs to be worked.
Yes.
He loves to be worked,
Okay.
But on saying that, everything that I do with him has been done with total respect.
Yes, obviously.
And one of the things that I say to people is when they do a lone vigil with him, under no circumstances do they swear, use bad language or anything like that, because he knows exactly what they're saying, so it's a respect thing. And we both have that respect for each other.
Now, just before you go on to saying what you're actually going to be thinking about doing with him, one thing that hasn't been mentioned is you've not just taken this painting to haunted venues, have you?
No.
You've taken it to unhaunted venues.
Yeah, I won't say where.
That you know of, that have no inkling of any spiritual activity until the painting walked into the room. Basically, walked into
I
the
have
house.
took it to a place.
Yeah, and you've managed to get activity from unhaunted venues.
Yes.
So.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, he does take over sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah.
You can feel it in the room. You close this door in this room like they do before.
He's a showboater. That's what he is.
He is, isn't he? And then you walk in and you can feel it.
I must admit, we had the door shut for quite some time, for a good half hour before we came in, and basically, I walked in the room and it was as if there was this this invisible sort of, when you feel as though you're walking through, I don't know, sticky stuff, and it's like sort of thing. It wasn't really bad, but
walking through syrup.
Yeah, walking through syrup, that sort of thing. So I know you say that he needs to be worked, but do you know that it is not? Sorry, but do you know that it's not negative and feeding off everyone and growing stronger?
I know it's not negative.
But to what end?
That's what the Viscount's saying. So what are you on? Tell us what you're planning on doing with this.
Okay, what I'm planning on doing is I have to work with him at least twice a month.
Okay.
And I can't just do it on my own, to be honest with you.
No.
Because Mysteria Paranormal Events is just me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then I bring in people who I trust to work with me when I need to work with somebody.
Yeah.
And basically, what I'm doing is if I can't badger people to death with the Anguish Man live experiment all the time on Mysteria, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I do recognise that.
Yeah.
And what I need to do is I need to take it further afield. So what I'm proposing really is I'm going to start approaching charities.
Yeah.
See if they want to take part in the Anguish Man live experiment. I'm going to approach. I've had a word with Andy before, and we're going to approach colleges.
Yeah.
Where they do parapsychology.
Yeah.
and we'll do, myself and Andy, if you're interested.
Absolutely.
We'll be doing a lecture about the paranormal, and then also we'll be doing the Anguish Man live experiment, and let the students experience firsthand.
Yeah.
And they can use equipment and stuff like this, and maybe we can learn more that way with regards to the painting itself.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is to groups out there who are interested. You can hire me and the Anguish Man live experiment, and we'll give other people a chance to actually see what they can come up with, really.
Yeah.
And that's the way forward I can see.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because I can't badger people to death with it.
No.
Just on Mysteria, because it wouldn't work, would it?
No.
At the end of the day, people want different experiences.
Yeah. So if you've got a venue out there that you're doing, I must admit, John's said to me, if next year I want to book him to come on one of my events. There's an event that he goes to that I've not been to for quite some while, and I was thinking about booking it again anyway.
Yeah.
He was saying that I can hire him and the painting to come and join us for the evening.
And
You've seen what he's just put. Basically, you're willing to do that, are you?
Yes.
Travel all around the country. Well, you travel around the country anyway.
And when we say hire, you're talking about your expenses
On the
mainly.
chat room.
Expenses mainly, really, and not. I mean, it isn't going to be expensive, to be honest with you.
No, it's not.
I'm not out to rip anybody off.
No, this is it. So
the only thing that it has got to be is it's got to be done right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't have
It'll be an event really where the Anguish Man is concerned. You will take control. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, let me put this way, the way I put it to you, because I know what people may be thinking out there is I'll take control of the whole thing.
Evening, yeah.
I won't.
No.
The other thing as well is that I'm not into poaching other people's guest.
Yeah.
I don't do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
For one, I get a bad name for myself anyway, wouldn't I? But the only way it'll work is you do it as a two-part. You do an investigation of the building that you're in.
Yep.
Which will be conducted by yourselves.
Yep.
And then I'll do the Anguish Man live experiment bit.
Yeah.
Only because it's a bit that I need to do. For one, the painting's got to be looked after.
Yeah.
For another, I've got the connection with it.
Precisely.
And it's.
But they will still see and experience what the painting can do.
They'll experience it. I mean, obviously you can't guarantee he's going to be more active than other nights, but you know what? The more work with him, the more active he gets.
Right. Okay. Well, I said to you somebody might be interested.
Yeah.
They can ring after the show.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So that's what I was laughing at, Andy.
I'm not bigging myself up.
No.
Don't think this, because I don't do that. You know me.
I know you for that.
But I feel I'm a true professional at the end of the day. I work hard at doing what I do, and I treat everything with respect.
Yes.
As I do the guest as well.
Yeah.
I treat the guest with utmost respect as well.
So this is a new adventure for you.
A new venture for me, really.
You know what I mean?
But it needs to go that way.
Yeah.
I can't see any other way doing it.
You are that connected to it, aren't you?
I am. I am sucked in.
It's become a bug under your skin.
It's there, yeah.
It really
has.
So, but how do you think it's going to go? You don't think it's going to harm you in any way, or?
No. Do you know?
Or do you think that the end of it will be no? I'm going all theatrical now, but you don't suppose that the end will come where it will just all of a sudden burst into flames or something like some horror film?
Or we'll find John lying in a room one day with his mouth just wide open and blank eyes staring out.
No, but you know what I mean. You go in there and think, it's done its purpose. You know what I mean?
Done.
All of a sudden, it's just decided to.
I mean, it's funny actually. It doesn't look particularly nice looking at it face to face, but the version you see online with the pixelation of the logo of broadband quality looks far more sinister.
Yeah,
it really does.
But I must admit, when you're sitting in the dark with it, because I have done this, guys, I definitely have done this, and so has Steve. It is daunting. It didn't do nothing for us, I must admit.
We did it at
because
Drake.
you wasn't there.
I wasn't there that night.
We did it at Drakelow Tunnels, and John will tell you, Drakelow is very, very dark.
Yeah, but we could still see the
But
picture.
yeah, we put an ultraviolet light on the picture.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we did,
So we could see.
So we had some
when we
light on,
filmed it.
so we see what we did.
Yeah. But you can see that on YouTube as well. So both of our visuals with it.
Yes.
But as I say, we didn't feel nothing at the time. It was a bit daunting sitting there.
Well, I felt as if there was somebody standing at the tunnel.
Yeah.
Watching.
Yeah, but nothing.
But nothing
really untoward.
Untoward, really.
Do you know why it didn't work?
Because you weren't there.
Well, because you did it wrong as well.
I did.
I'm not being rude.
Oh right, okay. What did I not do right?
We did speak to it.
Basically, what we've got to do.
Yeah.
Is that what I always do is I do an energy building session first of all.
Right.
That's important.
Which is because you wasn't there.
To supervise it, yeah. To be honest, yeah.
It was just a case of, so there you go, there's the picture, sit down, do what you got to do,
Yeah.
and that was it.
But you will see.
Yeah, because I'm coming to one where you're going to be doing it, so
you'll see.
You know, we're definitely going to go to one of these, aren't we, Steve?
The other thing about him as well is he needs the right floor as well.
Yes.
Basically, if you put him on a carpet,
yeah.
It hasn't. He needs to be on a hard floor, like floorboards, stuff like that. On a carpet, obviously, it stops the leg moving, doesn't it?
Yeah. Are you doing it at Cannock Chase?
No, it's all about Cannock Chase.
Right.
Well, it's all about the four crossings.
Yeah.
JW's Ghost Rider, he just said he doesn't know why, but the same thing happened last time, and it gives him a headache.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives me a headache.
I've got a headache sitting here now, actually, I must admit.
Yeah, I've had a headache for the past hours. So.
And he's wondering whether, in Robert's room.
Oh, I don't know whether they'd allow it. They might do. Might have to have a word with them. So,
and they can pay the expenses.
Yeah, they can. So, yeah, we could have a word with them.
So it's kind of, I suppose, really, it's kind of me going out there as a double act, really.
Yes.
Yes.
Not as Mysteria, but as
John Blackburn and the Anguish Man.
Blackburn and the Anguish Man.
Yeah.
John and David, did you say?
John and David.
John and Dave.
John and
David and John.
Yeah. So, but it does sound interesting for other paranormal groups to be able to do that. And by the looks of it, the Viscount's already itching for me to finish the show so he can ring you.
Yes, but looks of it, he would like you for February.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can sort something out.
But yeah, so as I say, it's something you'd be interested in, is it? Then, Stephen, you'd be interested in something like this at Craig in Castle. But I must admit, it's pulled it in though, hasn't it? If you think about it, you've had it for 3 years, and every time you do an Anguish Man experiment event, you're packed, aren't you?
People follow it.
People follow it.
Right, one second, please. Can everybody just stop for a second?
Why?
Did anybody hear a phone?
No.
No, I'm looking on here. I've got nothing on here that gives me a phone.
Yeah.
I just heard a phone ring.
In your ear.
Through the headphones. Did anybody else on the show hear a phone ring?
It looks like you're putting your hand up.
I am. Did you ring the phone?
No.
Talk to me.
I didn't hear it.
It was like a normal phone. That ringing sound.
No, I didn't hear nothing.
I heard it ring twice through
Anybody
the
in the
headphones.
chat room hear that? So, but nobody's come through yet. So, never mind. So I thought it was in the hub. Hey. Now.
Yeah, there's definitely no phone gone off in here.
Nope.
Stephen thought it was in the hub. David, did you hear it? Ace Paradox, did you hear anything?
Come on, everybody else, let us know if you heard it.
Let us know whether you heard it. Did you really hear it, Viscount? Sort of like ring twice, what Steve said. like do or something.
I'm not trying to be funny, but has
Like
it suddenly
getting
got
stranger
colder in here?
feedback when you're
It has got a bit colder.
It's
in it.
got colder in here as well.
Yeah.
And Ghost Rider has just said yes, he heard it.
Ace Paradox said he's been hearing sounds.
Can I make a suggestion?
Viscount said he's getting strange feedback when we're talking.
Can I make a suggestion to everybody out there, guys? I know you won't see us, but can we turn the lights on?
Yeah.
And close the door?
Yeah, we're gonna go dark.
We're gonna go down. Apart from the screens.
Oh well, yeah, that's a problem, that isn't it? Yeah, that's a good problem, that isn't it?
Viscount said he 100% heard it.
The other thing for everyone to do who's listening, guys,
Go on.
is to look at the direction of the painting, really.
Well, we've really gone dark. You can just about see me, Steve, on the actual show. Can you see it? We can see me. Can't see John. We can't see the picture. You can see my screen, and you can see Steve. So.
I can't see anything. Maybe I just covered all mine up.
Do you want it a bit darker?
If possible. I don't know whether it's possible or not. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, only he can see now, so that's
So,
about as dark as you're going to get.
Because you'll
Can
find
put your thing down?
it's like anything in the paranormal. As soon as you turn the torch on, it kills the energy that you're trying to work with.
Okay. We'll just hope we don't lose the show.
So
You
we've
keep
got
an eye on it.
everything down now. Okay. And
Yeah, my mic's on as well, so I should pick it up.
so just as an experiment, really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to David. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm moving my microphone. Being told.
Yeah, phone rang again.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, phone rang again.
Okay. Now then, guys. The thing is that I can
It's
feel
an
at the
old-fashioned
moment.
ring, isn't it?
The thing I can feel at the moment is that the energy's changing in here. Can you feel that? I'm not trying to put
No.
words in
try.
people's mouths.
It's okay.
Okay, let's just talk to David then. If that's okay. Okay, David, can I just come forward, please, and just join me now and start to communicate and work with me now, like we have done in the past. Okay. If you look at his mouth now, just keep watching his mouth for a second. David, can you come forward, please, and start to work with me now, and just start to talk with me if you can. I know you've not got the easel tonight, but I'm going to ask Suzanne. I don't want to touch it myself, Suzanne.
No.
Okay. If you can put your hand just on the side of the painting for me, so that it's just on the side of it, there. But just so it's a very, very soft touch. Okay. I'm going to ask Steve. Steve, if you can do the same for me. If you can
just
take them headphones off.
I know you can't see anything on the screen.
If you can
The
just
light is
put
very
your
low.
hand, right, just it's got to be the softest touch, because what you're doing now is that you're giving him energy now. Okay. Okay, David. Can you come forward for me, please, and start to talk to me and communicate with me now, please, David, if you will. Look at his face, guys, as well. Okay. Okay, David, come forward and talk to me now. I'm going to ask you some questions that you're familiar with, first of all, just to get you going a little bit. Guys out there who are listening out there now, this is a time where you need to be listening now, because I'm going to ask him questions, and hopefully there's a good chance of EVP again. Okay, David, I'm going to ask you some questions that you're familiar with, that we talk about quite often, and I'll just build up a little bit from there. Is that okay with you? Okay. 1940s, David. Take yourself back to the 1940s, please. The 1940s. The 1940s. Take yourself back to that time. Are you starting to feel anything yet, you two guys? Yeah, we get that quite often as well, actually. Okay, David, let's just get these questions going now, okay? 1940s. Does Belson mean anything to you? Detention camps. Belson. Belson. Detention camps. Can you feel that? So you're starting to feel vibration from the painting now. Okay, David, come forward. Join me now. Come forward and join me now. Come on and join me. Come on, David. Come forward. Come forward, David. Just take my energy and come forward to me now. Come forward to me now. Watch his face, guys. Come forward to me now, David. Come forward to me now. Join me now. Lower the temperature, open the door, bring yourself forward, bring yourself through. Come and join me now. Turn the painting for me, David. Turn to, you can feel the coldness coming off it now? Yeah. Come on, David, turn the painting for me now. That's it. I can feel the energy starting to come out now. David, 1940s, Belson, does that mean anything to you? 1940s and Belson. Come on now. Bring yourself forward. Do you remember Sean? You remember the name Sean, David? Do you remember the two people who went to Belson that Sean's grandmother knew? You can feel that energy there. David, can you remember that? So what are you saying now, Steve? Is mouse moving? Okay. Okay, David, you can remember that? Belson, 1940. The two people went to Belson who knew Sean's grandmother. When they came back, they were thin, they'd lost weight. Was you one of those two people, David? Move the painting if that's the case. Move the painting for me, David. Was you one of those two people? Bring it this way, this direction towards me now. Bring it this way, this direction towards me now. Can you hold your hand, please? Bring it this way towards me now. Come on, David. It needs more energy than this, you know. But I mean, there's only us here. There's only two. Yourself, Suzanne, and Steve touching the side of the painting. It's just a gentle touch, isn't it? Come on, David. That's it. That's the idea, Steve. Come on, David. Bring yourself forward. Bring yourself through. We're making that connection now. You've got me in the middle of the connection now. David, join me now. Turn round and face me. Turn round and face me, David, as you've done before, please. Turn round and face me. I know you're facing me, but I want you to turn the left-hand side of the painting towards me, David. Come on. I know you've not got your easel, because there's no room in here, but if you can pull the painting round to me, and we can talk a little bit more. What are you feeling now? You can feel the vibration. It's starting to build up. Andy, are you busy?
I am here. I'm also noticing there's an odd smell of like burning that's coming into the room that wasn't here before.
Yeah. Pain in your upper arm. Okay. So you want me to turn the lights back on again this time, or do you want to carry this on?
I'll keep an eye on the show. The screen's still up and running. Everything's fine. So.
Okay. Okay. David, join me now. Just make a conscious effort for me now to bring yourself through and make yourself come through stronger. I know there's only us four now here, but you've got me in the link. Just bring yourself through stronger, please, David. Bring yourself through stronger. Come on now. Turn around and face me, David. Come on. Turn around and face me, please. Just try for these people. There's people listening to you now. They want to communicate with you now. Can you talk to people? Can you talk to people? Can you make yourself heard? I'll tell you what, David, I'll ask you questions. I'll leave a space in between so you can answer. Try and answer through the electronic equipment that's here.
The guys are hearing something actually. Viscount's saying that there's a strange feedback noise again and again. It's very loud. And again.
Okay, David, you ready? You can start to talk for me. David, is David your real name, David?
Ace is saying there's an electronic type voice sound similar to what he heard last night.
Is it your real name, David? Is that your real name? There's one thing I need to know, David. Is you Polish Jewish? Is that what it is? Polish Jewish. David, the other thing as well is, does Belson mean anything to you? Just answer me now, please. Okay. What I'll do, David, as well, is if you can do me a favour, please, I'm going to ask Suzanne to put her hand in front of your face. Not touching the painting, just about 6 inches away. 6 inches away from me, about a little bit more there, a bit more away. Okay, David, can you start to breathe on the hand now?
Viscount, whose voice do you hear the feedback from?
Can you breathe on the hand now?
Oh, that is so unreal.
Can you feel that?
That is unreal.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. So you're breathing on hand now. Can you do it a little bit stronger for me? Can you make the temperature go down in the room for me? Make it colder.
Obviously, you can't see us on the screen, guys, but Sue's got her hand roughly
make
with the
it
mouth
colder
the
for
picture,
me.
and it's clearly feeling a reaction.
Make it colder for me. Bite your fingers. No, I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking, David. Right, okay. Make it go colder for me. Come on now. A little colder for me, David, please. You feel that?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Okay, David.
Oh my God.
As if the painting's breathing.
Did you see the lights then on the face? Did you not see? David, can you show the lights on your face again, please, so everybody can see? Can you show the lights on your face so everybody can see? Come on, David. Do that for me, please. You know, I totally respect you. We know we've got this friendship going on. Just start to bring the lights on the face for me.
Is anyone else hearing noises apart from AC Viking?
There, can you see it now? See it there now? Look, just on his forehead there, there's like a wispy light. Yeah, can you see that? Okay, David, come on, a little stronger for me. Bring yourself out. Bring yourself out the painting in this room for me.
No, Ghost. There's no one in the room apart from us.
Come on, David, bring yourself out. Bring yourself out. Come on. Bring yourself out a little further. Bring yourself out from the painting for me, David. Come on. Breathe on Suzanne's hand. Thank you. Let me just put the microphone to you.
He really is breathing. It's as if somebody's standing in front of me and I've got a person that's alive and you can actually feel. If you can hear that, that's me.
Now, the thing is, guys, is that there's only 4 of us.
Yeah.
Okay, can you imagine if there was 20 of us? 15 of us? Yeah. Maybe.
I can even move my hand back from his mouth. Just with my hand, my fingers just over his mouth. Still feel the breeze.
Yeah.
On my fingers. And not on the rest of the face. My palm can't feel nothing, but my fingers still feel the breath.
Better go back to the show, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, David. Thank you.
I think I'm enjoying it. Don't worry. There's a few
really
comments appearing.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much, David.
Lights going back on.
Hold on, I need to get my screen back on. Hold on. Has it?
It's an odd smell, like a burning metal kind of smell.
You heard the.
Give your phone there.
Okay. Whew.
And you actually heard.
Roxy's not in the room.
You heard
is
the
she?
bell. You
No.
heard the bell ring, but you haven't got your sound on. So it wasn't coming from you.
So that's
So
the
they
difference,
sounded
isn't it?
distant,
Yeah.
the ring, as if it
Real
was
bad.
real in the room
But
or outside the room.
It actually felt, I could feel the breath on my hand.
Right.
But when I moved my hand away so that his mouth, if that was his mouth, my hand was sort of like that far. You can see that on the show. I don't know whether you can.
It's there's a big lag at the moment.
Is there? Right, well, it was as if I could see that far from his mouth. So, sort of thing, not so close, but that far from his mouth. There was nothing here from the painting, but I could feel the breath still on my fingertips. There is a bit of a lag, isn't
The
there?
painting is darker.
It's dark.
Darker on frame than it was before.
Also,
Yeah.
stuff from Ghost Rider, who's obviously
He's
not
listening.
he's listening, but he can't. He's not in chat. He's on some
Yeah.
internet.
He's on the chat room now, actually. He's come in.
Has he come in now? Yeah. Yeah. He's put on the Facebook here. He's been hearing a moan as well. He's heard the moan and the phone, and got shivers. Ask if anybody's getting temp drop.
Well, he just says temp has dropped and seeing cobweb effect on
Yeah.
it. And Viscount put that last noise was loud that time.
Yeah.
Ace Paradox heard it again.
Yeah.
And again, Viscount
Yeah.
said.
And the last phone ring was loud enough that Andy actually heard it in the room.
Yeah, I heard it in the
I
room.
mean, the first time I actually heard it through my headphone.
I didn't hear
because I'm
it.
listening to the show.
It was distant, but definitely like an old-fashioned
Yeah.
bell ring of a phone
Yeah,
or a doorbell.
and Ghost Rider said, "Get a dictaphone out."
We've
We've
got
had a
a
dictaphone recording for the last 2 hours.
Well,
Yeah,
so
I
you
was
didn't
just
hear that?
wondering, when it flashes, does that mean it's recording?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Because it was on flashing lights, so it's
Yeah.
still running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's and it will hold it. That's 8 gig that recorder.
that'd be interesting to listen back.
Did anybody else who's actually in the chat room or listen to the show hear anything that they can come in and talk about? Just sign in. You don't have to sign up. Just type onto the chat book that section so we know if you heard anything.
Yes.
So there you go. We seem to have had paranormal activity here live on the show.
Indeed.
Right. So just to reiterate some of the things that have been said, I thought it was in the hub, which was the original one, but he said, but strange feedback when you're talking. Ace Paradox said, I have been hearing sounds. I asked Viscount whether he heard it, and he said yes, 100%. Viscount said, "Oh my God, that looks freaky." When we obviously turned the lights out before we turned everything else
Did
down.
anybody see lights, by the way?
I don't know. Nobody's mentioned about lights at the moment.
I get my eye on the screen most of the time. I didn't see any lights.
I hear electronic. Hold on. I hear electronic type voice, was what Jake said, similar to what you heard last night.
Yeah, and
Viscount said, "Feck." That strange feedback again.
and he's just said there's no feedback now.
No.
And we're all
oh my
talking
God, that was very loud. And again, it's gone quiet. It's not doing it anymore. Ace Ventura said again. I heard it again. Last noise was loud. Temperatures dropped. Viscount said he then heard it again. Ghost Rider said he heard it again. Viscount said, so there is no feedback noise now at all. Strange. And the Ace Paradox said, what would happen with live EVP equipment present?
Indeed.
Hopefully it captures that.
They never saw any lights.
Well, hopefully all these noises have been picked up on the dictaphone.
Yeah, hopefully. That'll be interesting. And we know that even though we've got phones all around the house, they are connected to each other. So if we'd heard a noise, it would have come through.
And the ringtone is definitely not the same.
No, it's not.
Anyway.
So, but no, that was quite interesting. Very interesting.
What I find interesting, and to me, on the phone ringing, and gives credibility to the fact that it wasn't coming from next door or anywhere else.
No.
Is the first one. Our visitors heard it. I heard it on the headphones, but nobody heard it in the room. First time.
You mean our listeners heard it?
Yeah, our listeners heard it. I heard it on the headphones because obviously I'm listening to the show as well.
If it was a neighbour's house, you'd have heard it before, wouldn't you?
Yes.
You know it straight away.
Yes, but if it was, you'd have heard it in here the first time, and you didn't.
Yeah. No,
but it was very loud the second.
John just said keep K2 near the painting, but
actually the K2 meter, I do start to use it with him now, and it does set the K2 on.
Does it? Well, I thought it might do with all this electrical equipment around, actually. But
you've got one.
Oh, look what he's got right here. Yeah. Put it next door to it, just see what happens. See what happens.
There might be wrong with the equipment in the room, of course.
Yeah, that's what you got to think.
Yeah, that's the only problem. But we have used it where there's no electricity.
Yeah, this is it.
And if your phones as well, if your phones are close by.
Well, this is it. This is what you got to think about. That's the same thing. So, but it's a pity we didn't have that with us when we was doing the last name. It could have flashed up, wouldn't it?
It probably would have.
Yeah, so that's a shame. We should have thought about that earlier. Heard someone else speak, male voice, said John. I don't know, when did you hear that?
It's just in your head, John.
Hey.
Just in his head.
I think it might be Andy who's talking under us.
It could be me, actually. I'm here too, speaking, trying to
he was talking away while we were doing it, letting people know what was going on.
Yeah, but as I say, that's just here, like you say, with us.
That's just here.
Not enough energy. Yeah. But can you imagine it if you've got 24 people, 3 groups of 8 or something in a building? You know what I mean? At your venue.
I mean, the way to work it really, like I said, is like you split your teams into 2. You do an investigation in the building, you do the Anguish Man live experiment, and you swap over.
Yeah.
You swap the 2 teams over, and you make a really interesting night.
Did anyone else hear?
It was hearing something just before John spoke.
So, but as I say, it's definitely weird. I can't get over the fact that I just show people here that when I move my hand over, in case you can see, as you can see, my hand's over his face. Oh God, you can still feel it.
Still feel it.
You can still feel the draft from his mouth, which you've always said about, haven't you, Andy?
Absolutely.
But when I move my fingers away to the side of his mouth, but it's still in the opening, you can still feel the slight breeze. Not as much as it was when John asked him to breathe on my fingers. It literally, although I didn't hear it, but it actually, see if I can show you how it would have sounded if I'd heard it. A bit like that. So.
You know, that turns me on.
Oh!
It's turned into a different kind of show all of a sudden.
There's that noise. It's me breathing. No,
no, they haven't got it yet.
Right. So.
We're hearing you breathe now.
Are you?
Yeah. So
There's a good
there's quite a delay at
10-second
the
delay,
moment.
actually. Quite a long
Is there?
delay.
Having said that, the delay on this has changed
Since
at
we
least.
started.
Funny
At
enough,
least
I
4
was
times.
thinking that myself. It
Yeah.
seems
At
to get
least 4
longer and
times.
longer.
Yeah, we went from the original 3,
Yeah.
then went to 12. And
Interesting.
and then there was a glitch.
Interesting. They're
And
saying
then
that
it
they were
shot
getting
back to 4.
the feedback noise was when you put your hand.
Across his face.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that again, guys.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a delay, so bear with me. Right, there was nobody talking while that happened.
Yes, if Viscount and John are both hearing that sound when you move your hand to the mouth.
Right, so did you
No, I didn't hear anything then.
did you
I've
not?
got a funny smell. And it's not that nice.
Right, okay.
It's a bit BO-ish.
Well, the smell I got earlier was definitely like metal burning. It was quite
Right.
unpleasant. It was that kind of metallic smell.
Ace Paradox just went feck. Fecking hell, yes,
down.
it was just there. Now again, heard it. Lower that time.
It does have an effect on the electrical
Yeah.
equipment.
So,
Like I said at the cage, remember? We had all
Yeah.
that problems, all
Yeah.
the cameras went down.
can I just ask, guys, when we've had the show on before, have you ever heard a similar noise before? Or is this a completely different noise? Just out of curiosity. If you could just let me know. If you're in the chat room. But yeah, I know that's the thing. There is quite a delay. I want to reset it, but if I do that, they might miss what I've just said. So,
You're saying it now.
yeah. No.
No, said the Viscount.
Right, okay.
No, said Ghost Rider.
Right. We've got a little bit of a delay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and reset it. Okay, to see if I can get back a bit quicker.
Yeah, we're running at about 12 seconds at the moment.
Yeah. So if you want to tell me when that stops, Steve.
Go now.
John said maybe chickens are back.
Do you remember the chickens?
Right, okay, let's see what we've got here. That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not heard it before.
Reset the system so it's much closer
Yeah.
sync-wise. It's getting up to about 10-12 seconds. And that's
Yeah,
enormous.
it wasn't like that
instant.
when we started. It
No,
seemed
definitely
to
not.
changed.
No, as I say, the actual delay has changed 4 times in the time the show's been on.
Yeah. So, is it you that's doing it today?
Is that not normal, I take it?
Not as
No,
that bad.
no.
Right.
I think certainly
I mean,
between turn the lights off and back on again, the delays considerably longer then.
So the delay happened once we turned the lights
Yeah,
off?
definitely.
Yeah.
It's got
Right.
longer.
I mean, it has gone a longer delay before, but never
Never that bad.
Never gone backwards and forwards like a yo-yo.
No.
Like I said, it's changed 4 times so far.
Right, you know the sound you get before the show, Sue? It just happened again. It might have been because I just turned it off and turned it back on again. So... Oh, God. Yeah, it's gone again. I can't think what it could be then. So...
No.
But they've said, most of them have said it's not what they've heard before. And they have heard sound before.
Well, the thing to do is check the audio of the show.
Yes.
That's it, because you'll hear it back later when you
Yeah.
put it on. And if it's there, it would have picked up on the dictaphone as well.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
the mic on them is pretty good. That would have heard everything you've said. The
Yeah.
whole show would be on that dictaphone.
It'd be interesting to play that back once when you
Yes.
get time and see
Yeah,
what
it
you've got on
would.
there.
So, but as I say, it's
I can't get over that bleeding phone ringing.
no,
Yeah, we all heard it. Well, I heard it too.
that was quite interesting.
Like I say, I do find it significant that first time it rang, only the people on air heard it.
Yeah.
And yet the second time it was heard in the room.
I couldn't tell you where it was coming from. It
No,
sounded like it was out of the room, but it was somewhere almost just in the air.
It was just there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you know what? He makes a special effort when he needs to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're saying actually on the forum that it's happening again. The noise.
But I don't know. Yeah, but it wasn't in the original. It's only done it since we did that experiment. Perhaps
not
it's
hearing it
dying
here.
down
Yeah,
or something. What, on its own?
Yeah, Dave is trying to come
My
through.
council, it's getting louder. Are you hearing it, Steve?
Not really.
You're not hearing anything?
There's like a wave kind of thing, but you get that when you're listening to nothing.
Yeah, so Andy's going to
Yeah, and he's putting his ears in.
My Beats audio.
Beats audio.
If it's out there, you'll hear it or not.
So weird. Can you hear it, Andy?
My couch just said stop now.
That was him breathing on it.
No, there was something then.
What was there?
There's a weird metallic sound in the background
Is there?
that I've never heard before.
Hmm.
And you've heard every show, really, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
Pretty
it's
much.
just some residue. What do you reckon, John?
Possibly.
I mean, you felt the breathing on his hand.
Yes.
You felt that.
Yeah.
I can't. Obviously, I can't speak for what went on with the noises.
No.
But like I said, it does have a big effect on
Yeah.
electrical equipment. You've seen it in the cage
Yeah.
yourself. You've been involved in it.
Well, this is it. So
Right.
ask John to speak. He just did.
Right, there is something behind it.
Yeah.
There's something at the back there. I'm not getting what it is.
Do you want me to talk again?
Yeah, keep going.
No.
The delays.
Do you want me to
The
talk?
delay's increasing as well.
Do you want me to talk to David now?
Yeah.
Okay, David. Just I know the lights are on, but if you can just make a special effort for me, please, and if you could just start to make something happen for me now.
That was like a scraping sound.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Really
loud
weird
again.
sound.
They
Loud
said.
that time.
Do you carry on talking?
Yeah, go on.
David, if you can just make something else happen for me now, please. Just start to bring yourself out, work with us now, communicate with us now the way you know how, by using all this electrical equipment you've got around you now. You've done that before. You can do it again. Come on, David. Do it again. Really appreciate it if you can do.
What was that?
Well, that. No, you said, "Come on, David, do it again for me." Yeah. What came over in my ears was, "Do it again for me." First bit wasn't there. Yeah, I heard you say it. Did you catch that? There was actually two words missing. You actually said, "Come on, David, do it again for me." But what went on air was, "Do it again for me." The "Come on, David" was missing.
Weird.
And my counsellor said, "Who spoke then?"
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you can obviously say that there's something to this picture, can't you, Andy? I said you can obviously say there's something to this picture.
Well,
In the mic.
Well, considering this is
Oh yeah, always have.
yeah, this has
Always
never
have.
happened in over 2 years of doing the show.
Yeah.
We have to put it down to the picture, to the painting.
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise, it would have been heard before.
So, Ghost Whisperer just said he got a moan then.
There it goes again.
Can you say what it actually is?
What the hell
What
was
was
that?
that?
So what happened then? Sorry.
That was loud. and it's like somebody's dragging something metal.
Metal scraping.
Yeah, but without the high pitched squeal. Without the high pitched squeal, it's just
And at that moment, no one was speaking.
Yes, metallic. So, okay, for those that are actually listening to the radio replay, we're going to stay quiet for for about 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah, about a minute.
Hold on a sec. Roxy, move, now. I'm going to get rid of the...
Whoa. Did anybody else hear that? Was that from outside? Or was that
it was a bike. I was just about to say... go and get a bike.
Because all I got was a... well, keep in mind, I've got headphones on. Keep in mind, I've got headphones on, so I'm not hearing what's happening out there.
As I say, we're going to be quiet for a minute or two. Well, not that long, but just for a bit, just to see whether you can hear anything. In fact, we could turn our mics down as well, to make sure it's not coming through there. So we're going to turn the mics down. Okay, guys.
Now, just so you all know, Sue actually turned all the mics down on it. It's still there again.
Really?
Just before you said, okay, guys, it's really loud.
David, is this you doing this?
Can you answer, please, David?
Yeah, it is.
Can you stand up for me, Suzanne? Just sort of go near David, if you will, do.
It's 8-second delay now.
Okay, I'm near the picture as best I can.
Okay, David, what I want you to do is to communicate with Suzanne, please, if you will, okay? Just do that for me, if you will, do, please. I'm going to let Suzanne talk. Suzanne's going to talk to you now. And then if you can respond to Suzanne, please, David, that would be very good, thank you.
Hi, David. Can you do something for us, please? Can you make a noise for us? Thank you, David. David, can you make the lights flash on the K2? If you would. In fact, can you pass it up to me, John? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Can you pass it up? Hi, David. Can you make them flash again for me, please? Just so everyone can see. Please, David, can you make them flash again? Maybe not. I'm going to put them on there. I hope you don't mind, David. Mind you saying that, I don't think they can see them. It's a bit too low, isn't it, on there? Yeah. No. Okay. You couldn't see that just now. I asked it to go in.
Again.
Right.
The noise again.
David, can you flash the K2 again for us?
Right, did somebody outside just say hello?
No.
Somebody said hello in the headphones.
David, did you just say hello? If you can you say it again, please?
It definitely sounds like say hello.
David, are you making the scraping sound? If you can you make it really loud? David, can you make the scraping sound loud if that's you?
think that was that one.
What? Stop it.
No.
Oh.
The noise below. I think that was you doing something
Right.
down there.
David, if that's you, can you speak to us, please? Can you say something?
That's getting pretty close to speech now.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, David, thank
Yeah,
you
go
for
for
that. Thank you for talking to Suzanne. I really appreciate that. Okay, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when you turned the eagle around and you tasted me? Talk to me, David. Just sort of. I can't hear what you're saying, but if you can say something for me, so you can hear what you're saying on the radio now. Okay, David, you ready? Do you remember when you turned around and faced me? Remember that building that I took you in a couple of weeks ago? It was in Yorkshire and Pontefract. Do you remember that? Just leaving little gaps in between, guys, so I'll give them a chance to talk. Okay, David, would you consider me to be your friend? We've got a connection now. Do you think you're a friend of mine now? Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. I can't hear myself, but you know, you're being listened to now, if that's okay. So let's ask you a few more questions, and then we'll hand you back to Suzanne. Okay. So I take it you're finding all this pretty interesting where you are tonight, I should say. One thing I've always wanted to find out, David, so I can help you, is I need to know your surname. I really need to know what your last name is. Is there any chance you can tell us now what your last name is? Thank you, David.
And have you noticed the delay's down to about 2 seconds again?
Absolutely.
No, I couldn't
No, there's
hear
no
that.
doubt about it. That sounded like speech, but you couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like words.
And Ghost Rider was asking if you were talking to Andy, Steve.
Do what?
Ghost Hunter typed, "Are you talking to Andy?" You wasn't, was you?
Am I what?
Ghost Hunter asked if you were talking to Andy.
No, I wasn't talking to anybody. And loads of stuff on him again. The picture froze, which was what happened last time when it altered the delay.
Yeah.
My account saying, you know, what was that? It's replying but faint. In fact, that was loud. Again, but faint. All these sort of things. People get even whispering. They're all hearing it online. Yeah. And it has gone cold again. And while they're all hearing it online, we're not actually hearing it in the room.
No, we're not. No.
And from a technical point of view, we're doing nothing that we don't always do.
I know it may sound.
There's no change.
I hope it don't sound blasphemous or whatever. I'm just going to try something.
Okay, David. We've got a microphone, and hopefully you know what it is. We've got a microphone at your mouth now, David. If you can just answer some questions to me, please, if you don't mind. Let's just try it. And you know, one of the things I've always, like I was saying before, one of the things that I've always wanted to find out is your last name. I just need to know your surname. If you can do it now for me, please. Where you come from, David? Where do you come from? What's the country of origin? And just one more thing. Was it Belson or was it Dachau? Is there a connection with a concentration camp? Was it World War II?
Okay. But was there any noise whatsoever coming across during that
Lots
time?
of noise, but the same kind of thing. There's no distinct words.
What did you get? What did you get, Andy?
Well, certainly, again, that metallic kind of voice, but there was, at one point, it sounded like whispering, an actual proper voice whispering in amongst that sound.
Mm. The camera's flickering.
The one thing it does remind me of, and you may have seen the film The Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere. Very good film. But there's one point, and it does actually happen for real, because it's all based on a true story. I mean, loosely based on a true story. But at one point, the main character receives a phone call from the shadow moth person, and it sounds like metallic speech, like we're hearing.
Yeah.
When the guy had it analysed, again, this is in the film, but it also happened in real life, the analysis came back with just metallic sound, but yet you could clearly hear speech.
Right.
That's what it reminded me of.
Viscount said, he said Balsam. When you said Balsam, it sounded like a 2-syllable sound.
Yeah, it is a 2-syllable. Balsam.
No, he said.
Depots as well.
But Viscount said Balsam anyway.
Yeah. So
what
do you think to that so far?
And Ghost Rider said it's like the camera's trying to focus. I'm not seeing that on my screen. That smell's not here either.
Well, what did you think to that, guys? Obviously, you couldn't see much on the radio replay, but
well, I won't see anything on the radio replay, unfortunately.
I know, but they couldn't see what we were doing on the radio replay. But as I say, it's.
I think it's safe to assume they'll hear all the noises on the radio replay.
I would hope so.
I hope so as well. We'll check the EVP machine.
I am really keeping my fingers crossed that it's not just a live thing, and when you plays it back, that they're not there.
Yeah.
Would that be more spooky if it was?
No, that would be even more spooky.
Yeah.
Well, as I was just typing just now, I've been noticing the show since the bloody start, and I've never heard noise like that before.
No.
Never.
No.
Yeah, the Viscount said, very interesting, want more, loving it.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to come to the end of the show, I'm afraid. That's it for tonight. Thanks for coming, John.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me tonight.
It's always nice having you around. And I'm not sure about the painting, though. Even though it's so intriguing. I've never experienced any of that before, I must admit, even when you came last time with it. But yeah, it still intrigues me. Andy, thanks for coming up.
No problem at all. Great. I'm just
that
listening.
seemed very.
It was a rather long gap because the delays got longer, but I'm listening to the show.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that now we've stopped talking about you know what.
Yeah.
The noise has stopped.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we're going to come to the end of this. Thanks for coming up, Andy, and maybe you'll come up again. So and see us again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be up. Definitely. Probably not until next year now, but certainly will be up again.
Yeah. So obviously I will take you up on your offer with the Anguish Man.
The Angry Man.
Angry Man. The Anguish Man.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
But I hope to see you before then.
You will indeed. Thank you.
Well, next week, guys, what have we got on? We have a young lady back with us again, Rosemary Ellen Gwilly. She has published a wide range of paranormal, spiritual and mystical topics. And for this show next week, she's going to be talking about the growing interest in the phenomenon of shadow people. But what are they? Ghosts, interdimensional beings, time travellers, or something else? Well, we'll find out from Rosemary next week. Now, don't forget, if would like to be on the show, then email us at admin@ktpf.co.uk. We are always open to discussion and to discuss specific areas of this genre, including ghosts, monsters, psychic phenomena, and other supernatural and unexplained mysteries. Remember, this is your show too, so get involved. We hope you enjoy tonight's show. And that's about it for tonight. So it's good night from John.
Good night.
Good night from Andy.
Good night.
Pardon?
Good night.
And remember,
this is where it's at.
And we'll be back next week. Good night from Steve.
Good night.
And good night from me. And remember, and Dave, we must say goodbye to the Anguish Man.
Yeah, good night, Dave.
And remember, what we've got to do is
keep the paranormal friendly.
Good night and
Good night,
God
everyone.
bless.
Good night.